Welcome everyone. We now begin the press conference following the second EuroCup game here in London against Budocnost Voli. The first time London have played at the Arena at Wembley. We are joined by head coach of the London Lions, Ryan Schmidt. Coach, what are the emotions like in the locker room after a tightly fought game like that?
Tough loss. Obviously, the effort that we had in the second half was much better. The problem is when you spot a team, any team, 14 points, it's going to be a tough night, let alone a talented and well-coached team like we just faced. So, again, hats off to them. They played a great game. They came out and punched us first, and we had a tough time kind of playing from behind the entire night. But, some good things to build on after the second half, but we've got to do a better job of starting.
Yeah, and what are the key takeaway from tonight's game, and how will it prepare you for the next matchup against Hamburg?
I just think we've got to be better as far as our game plan execution, when the ball goes up in the air. Those first 10 minutes, we were in kind of a little bit of a daze, especially on the defensive end. We had a tough time keeping the ball out of the paint. I think in the first half alone, they had 32 points in the paint. It's going to be tough to win a game when you allow that. So I just think our focus on the defensive end, and again, too many times right now we let our defense kind of affect how we're playing on the offensive side of the ball. So again, some things to clean up. If it was a 30-minute game, we'll win by 5. But unfortunately, it's 40 minutes.
Yeah, of course. And can you also describe to all of us what it feels like to be playing at the Arena here in Wembley for the first time in 12 years in British basketball history?
Oh, it's an honor. I think anytime you get a chance to play in a traditional setting like this, and just seeing the excitement that a lot of our players had, especially the British ones, it was fun to be a part of. It was a good turnout. The fans got behind us, especially in that second half when we started playing better. But no, it's like I said, an honor to be able to play in such a traditional spot, and even just walking through the hallways and you see a lot of the people that have roamed the halls and performed here. It's pretty special.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you describe what it means to this team to be a part of the 7 days EuroCup competition?
Oh, it's great. I think it's not only great for our organization, but it's great for British basketball, the BBL. And again, I know it's a tough challenge. Obviously, balancing the schedule and playing a midweek game and then having to play the domestic games on the weekend. But it's a challenge that we're excited about. And again, after 4 games, I think we've got a good feel and idea of where we're at as a group. And we got to continue to improve. But no, it's a lot of fun to be part of a tough competition and to be able to go against coaches and players and teams at this caliber.
Great, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
You conceded. Coach, you conceded 29 points in the first period. Would you consider it as the worst quarter of this season so far?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, it just they're a really good team, and they've got they're very balanced from a scoring standpoint. But again, I just think our defensive execution was really poor. And again, because it wasn't that they were hitting a lot of tough shots, it was pretty much kind of just getting downhill and finishing at the rim and getting into the paint, which is something that we pride ourselves in not doing. So again, it was pretty disappointing to see our lack of execution on the defensive end. But yeah, I don't know from a point standpoint, but I would go ahead and say I think that is our worst defensive quarter.
Usually, Budocnost are not one of the best long-range shooting teams in the EuroCup, but were you surprised to see putting their first corner threes in the first quarter?
Yeah, not really, to be honest with you. I mean, I know from a percentage standpoint, what they're shooting on the season doesn't kind of stand out, but that's what I think we allowed them to do. Any chance you get to be able to get into a rhythm like that offensively, now all of a sudden those shots become a little bit, free-flowing, and it does create a rhythm for guys. And that's where, again, if we would have made things a little bit more difficult, in those first 4 or 5 minutes, I think maybe they shoot a little bit differently. But again, they're a very talented team, and so anytime you give a team like that easy looks and allow them to get in a rhythm, you're going to be in for a long night.
What did you tell to your players in the locker room? I'm sure more pressure on the ball, but what else?
At halftime? Yeah, I think just there's nothing we can do about the past 20 minutes, right? I think we got to kind of refocus and understand, like, look, we're playing from behind now. We got a huge deficit. We know what we need to do, and now it's just a matter of going out and doing it. Right? And not to sound too cliche, but there wasn't a lot of tactical things we needed to clean up, right? I think we just needed to kind of get better at our communication, understanding what our coverage was going to be, do a better job of just keeping the ball out of the paint. And I think we did a better job coming out and starting the third quarter with a little bit more energy, a little bit more fire, and it kind of sparked some things on the offense. And again, that's kind of been our consistent message from a coaching standpoint is when we lock in on the defensive side of the ball, like now it allows us to kind of get easy opportunities and kind of just get into more of our free-flowing things on the offensive side. So the message was just, again, we have 20 minutes left to play. Nothing we can do about the past, but now we've got an uphill battle, and we knew it was going to be tough.
And one final question about Turkish team, Türk Telekom. There are still 3 or 4 weeks to come, but were you able to assess them so far? Have you ever watched any of their games?
Yeah, no, there's no easy nights in this competition. Every time we step on the court and against any team in our group, it's going to be tough. There's talent across the board. Watching them, I've got a chance to watch a few of their games. And they've got some guys that really stand out on paper. Jerry and Grant, for one, is someone that does a good job. And that I'm really impressed with how their coach does things. And to me, they're a team that you can tell a couple months in the season they're playing better, right? Like they're trending in the right direction. So again, we've got a few weeks until we see them. We got to kind of keep the focus on us and then continue to try to get better.
Thank you very much.
Right, thank you.
No worries. So welcome back. We're now joined by the head coach of Budocnost, Voli Vladimir Jovanovic. Coach, just a couple of questions for you. How do you think the team are feeling about their performance tonight?
I'm satisfied with the first half, but like I said to my team, for the second half, I expect reaction from the London Lions, and they showed it. First of all, I played a big minutes with some players. In the second half, we had problems with the organization, had the problems like you see with the offensive rebounds, because mostly they play with the lineup with the big players on position 2, on position 3. It's not usually to have a Decker on position 3, on 2, and position 3 you have a Hruman. It's so difficult to guard everything. And after that, because they have a lot of second chance to play offense. Like I said, we had a problem second half with the organization, with the press, what they did. Znači, especially of our ball handlers, they push us to play basketball. They push us to play basketball on the 9-10 meters. It's so difficult. But on the end, we find not a great shots, but we find the shots that we make it a 3-point shot, 2-point shots, and we on the end, I think so. We made. If I watch all game, we made good game.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations on your win tonight. Obviously, slight change in tactics. There was a lot of three-point shooting coming from you guys tonight. Was that an active thing that you talked about pre-game?
I don't like to shoot a lot of three-point shot, but first of all, like I said, they play with the big lineup in this situation. They switch a lot. It's so difficult when they have when team opponent like London Lions have a big guys. We cannot define easily mismatch inside, because mismatch out is it on 3-point line you have a big guy, and inside you have a big guy, and this is a problem because we decide to play this isolation out of the 3-point line, because that we find a way to make a small advantage for the small advantage to find the open guys who will take a shot.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. And what do you think you need to improve on going into your next game?
We had a lot of problems in the preseason. Mine 9 players was in the national team. We spent before the season just less than 2 weeks. This is the biggest problem. We don't know each other. for this level of competition. Actually, we have to spend the time together. And now for the 2 days after the game in our national championship, ABA League, we have this FIBA windows, and my 8 players will go there. Again, I will stay with just I think so 5 players on the practice. What I want, this is what I cannot again. This is a problem. I need a time, and time what we have. This is just a game, and just maybe one practice between the 2 games. This is a so small time to grow up like a team.
Yeah, absolutely tough challenge to take.
Yes.
Any questions from the floor?
Yeah, not usually. Coach Ali, from Trend Basket Turkey. Usually you are the best rebounding team in the EuroCups this season. Were you a bit disappointed by the offensive rebounds you gave away?
I will tell you one thing. Kaba made a good game. Kaba is our main power in a paint, but like I said, London Lions. This is so huge. They have so huge bodies. It's not usually to have a decker who is 2 meters can play like a 4. Sometimes in a small ball lineup to play 2. And after that you have a 2-5 on the position 4. You have a so strong guy like a Soko is, and 2 bigs. This is not usually for the Europe to have like 2 bigs like a Kufas, and second guy is not position 4. I forgot the Zubčić, who is a 2-13 and play position 4 sometimes, and then they line like position 3. It's not easy to stop this. It's not easy to stop, because if you make whatever you play in a pick and roll defense, I don't know, contain or switch or hedge, whatever you play, they have a small advantage when they run on the basket. And this is a moment when they run with these guys who are out of the 3-point line, position 2 or position 3. We cannot protect all these things. I expect this, and of course I try to stop, but this is not possible every time.
One final question about Turkish team, Türk Telekom. There are 3 teams with 3 wins so far in the Group B. Did you have any chance to take a look at Türk Telekom?
No. If I can be honest, a lot of job I have. Now we are 3 games in a row on the road. Actually, we had 1 game in the ABA League, 2nd game EuroCup, and we had 1 more game. We will be 12 and more days out of our town, out of our gym. It's not have a time to watch. I can watch only maybe first team and second game after that. It's not possible. When I have a time, when I make a time, I will do it.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes the EuroCup press conference. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.